Survival Evolved is one of those games that simply transports you to an adventure in a world full of wonders. Inspired by this masterpiece, I decided to put my programming skills to practice. I welcome you to episode number 6 of this journey. In this video, I'm gonna share with you how I made creature color variations in my game. This island is finally getting some light. In this episode, in order to take the visuals one step further, while making exploring experience even more interesting, we will develop a system that will randomize the colors of our creatures with special rules. Step 1. The rules. All creatures will have one base color and 6 color regions. I extract a black and white texture from the base color, or create one. This black and white texture will serve for detailing later. Each particular region has an assigned color, and each one of them will initially multiply the black and white version with its color, and after that override the previous texture based on a map. This is important because regions with higher numbers will override the ones below, so I need to keep that in mind when creating new regions. Multiplying the color of the region with a black and white version of the base texture allows me to maintain details, and assigning colors to each region individually, I can change the overall combination, creating enormous variation of color combinations. If you remember, I downloaded the animals from the asset store. Every creature in the package has its folder containing all sorts of textures. My work then starts with defining the regions, and for that we need to paint. Step 2. The painting. Jumping on Blender, I started painting the maps. For each new map, I create a new black image matching the size of the main texture. Then I just draw white wherever I want that region to take effect. I found that the models in this particular package were great to paint. To better visualize where to paint, we can go in Edit mode and select the faces. When back into painting mode, they will be highlighted in the texture view. All the model's geometry, in relation to the mapping, were great, but that is not always the case. And then I ended up with a texture with its pixels varying from 0 to 1. At the end of the process, I had a black and white texture for each region, where white indicates the presence of that particular region, and the shades in between will act as a transition to other regions. Step 3. Simplification. After we have one black and white image generated for each region we want to map. Based on the rules, I made 6 textures. Add to that one base color and one normal map, totaling 8 basic textures for each model that we want to work with the color variation system. You see how this can scale really fast. So, what we want to do is combine those maps in one single image. Since every image is a map of pixels, each pixel containing up to 4 values, red, green, blue, and alpha channels, and each pixel of a region has only one value, varying from 0 to 1. We can then combine up to 4 region maps inside one image, one map for each channel. This practice is widely used in the industry. Doing this can represent a great deal of space saved. Step 4. Shader. Back to Unity. Now it's time to tell Unity the rules from before. We do that using a shader. I'm not gonna go in depth on the shader making process in this video. Let me know if you would like to know more in the comments. The important thing here is that we set the parameters names correctly, so we can set them from a C# script. Step 5. Color palettes. This step is optional, but I wanted to make random color palettes as well, so I could use them throughout the system. To create random palettes with some consistency, I use the function HSV to RGB from the color class. Placing a random but limited variation on the hue value, we can get somewhat related colors. Step 6. Color picking. After determining a variety of colors to pick from, I can now randomly pick and assign them to the regions, using the method setColor from the class material and passing the parameter name. With all that in place, the system is functioning. Now when a creature class is initialized, it looks for the coloring component and calls the randomize method to shuffle the colors, generating a unique color arrangement for each creature spawned in the scene. I think it's time to explore the forest and see how the coloring system turned out. Maybe even find a better place to settle. Getting bored of this beach? See you next episode. If you watched until here, you will probably probably like the content I'll be making in the future. Consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel and activate the bell. That way you won't miss new updates. Also, if you want to help the channel, need more content,
ou conteúdo em português,
check the links in the description. See you in the next one.